Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, whatever day it is for you. Welcome to the podcast. Okay, first and foremost, I'm in a podcast studio right now. If you're watching this, which you're probably not, you're probably listening to this, and it feels fucking awesome. I miss being in a podcast studio. For the OGs that have been part of my podcast, that I started this venture in the podcast studio, and every time I walked into it, I just felt like I was free. And there's something to that. There's something about setting yourself up for success. When I decided to start a podcast randomly, I literally hired a producer 2 hours later. I had no name for my podcast. I had no concept. I just knew that I wanted to be successful with it. I knew that to set myself up for success, I needed to set myself up with people that knew more than me. And I really truly believe that if I had not set myself up for success and hired a producer, I would never have had any shot at becoming a top 100 podcaster or just any of the success that I have, not because I'm not capable of doing it on my own, but because I could never have held myself accountable. And that is just the literal truth. I think people think that just because you're really talented or gifted or driven or ambitious, that the level of accountability you'll hold for yourself is at 100%. And I'll tell you right now, I am not the best at holding myself accountable. I need people and things outside of me, bigger than me, to be like, yo, Ricky, you need to show up. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make me less of a leader. It just makes me a human. And the more that you understand who you are and the human parts of you, the more and the easier it is to just accept them. Yeah, I need accountability. I like accountability. I came to the studio today for accountability because there are a lot of things I want to record for my podcast and for my Walking Away from Weed program. And every time I sit down to go do it in my own room, in my own studio, do you know what happens? I'm looking at my phone, and then I'm going for a walk. And I'm I just took a walk. What are you doing, Ricky? Sit your ass down. So I always tell people, it's not just the investment. It's just knowing who you are to make the investment. And being in the studio right now just feels so nice. And honestly, I've made some bad investments lately, like real bad investments. And this is not one of them. This is a nice one. This is a good one. I bought this coaching program recently, and I want to talk about this because this is really important. I bought this program recently from this girl who, her marketing is incredible. She has great branding. I don't even know what this episode's about. We're just going to talk. And her marketing was great. And there's something that I'm working on right now, which is shadow work. And I know that's a buzzword and everyone talks about it and whatever. I think sometimes things are cliche for a reason. Shadow work. And I'm working on my shadows. I don't even know what it means yet, but I'm working on it. We're moving through it. And I like to get support at every level of my journey. I don't really believe in doing things totally on your own. I think you can bootstrap things. I think that you don't need support every minute, but I like to be around people that are smarter than me in certain ways. And I got this program. It was $5,000, and I invested in it. She had great marketing, marketing, truly great marketing. And I'm a sucker for great marketing because I love marketing and I do it all day for myself. Anyways, I bought this program, and I got to tell you, this is probably the worst investment I've ever made. And I really hope my dad's not listening to this because he'll fucking kill me, because he'll just be like, you literally, you invest in the worst things. And I agree, Dad. We are on the same page. But honestly, this was truly okay. There needs to be a disclaimer when you buy something. There needs to be hey, if you're at this level in your life, this might not be the best program for you. And it made me realize how valuable the things are that I teach. And what I mean by that is when you buy out someone else's program, or you experience someone else's experience, or you go into their brand or their world or whatever it is, and you learn things from them, you realize that they're not actually smarter than you. They're just more confident. They've just worked through their shadows. They've worked through certain things that maybe you haven't. And this is the biggest realization that I've had. And I remember I used to think this way with walking away from weed. How the hell did that person do it? They must have something that I don't have. And it's not true. Nobody has something that you don't have. You just don't believe that you have it. That's the problem. And as I was moving through this program as best as I could because I had to fast forward half the shit, honestly. I was like, I learned that 1,000 years ago. I remember thinking, like, what does she have? What is this? And it's just a level of confidence that a lot of people don't have. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you are the least confident, no one cares. You could be you could be a mediocre talent, but if you are the most confident, that person, people gravitate towards you. Why? A, they believe that you'll get it done. You'll do whatever it takes. They trust you. And B, there's a level of arrogance that come with confidence, and people tend to get shit done because they like that. They want to feel good. And I've always been a very confident person, but sometimes when I go to create a program or I want to expand or I want to do these things, I like have this block. And you know that. If you've been listening to my podcast forever, like you know that. But then there's this part of me that's like, I sit down and I speak and the words just flow and I transform thousands of lives and I create and I do all these things. And so I bought this program to try to understand that part of me more. And then I think it just reaffirmed that like, there's nothing really wrong with you, Ricky. Like it's not as deep as you think. And it's like, it's just this thought of it's good to invest in yourself. It's good to learn and grow, but these people are not here to save you. Like I'm not here to save you. I'm not even here to save myself. I don't even believe that I need to be saved. But it's more the idea of like I turned this on and I was like, what does this girl have that I don't have? And I realized it wasn't much. Not because she's not cool. I actually don't like her anymore, but because she just has confidence or she believes in something. Like, what do you believe in? Do you believe in yourself? Like, when I say that out loud, do you believe in yourself? Like, what is the first thing that comes up in your head? And then what comes up in your body? Because most likely your head and your body are not connected. Do you believe in yourself? Even as I say it, I'm like, yeah. But then I'm like, right? There's like a pause. And it's like, for what? We're always fighting between these two people of who we are. It feels like that sometimes. And I think the biggest lesson I have learned from this program that I bought, from all the terrible investments that I've made, is that they don't know more. They just do more. They just have less fear. And they do this internal work. But some of them don't. They just move. They keep moving. And you have to keep moving. I mean, if you don't move, you stand still. It's like some people are waiting till they feel inspired or motivated or they have like momentum to get the fire going. It's like, yo, you build the fire. You transform as you're building the fire. Like I have been waiting to feel inspired again in certain things. And it's like, yo, go create the inspiration. Just do it. Like Nike couldn't have been more right. They literally took this most simple, basic thing and they just transformed the world because it's just the truth. Just do it. Just sign up. Just take the walk. Just go to the gym. Get after the thing that you want. Just fucking do it. Because doing it is the way that you become. Doing it is the way that you grow. Doing it is the way that you expand. Doing it is what gets you from point A to point B. Thinking about doing it literally just keeps you stuck in your head. And I'm telling you right now, your head is the worst place to be. You're like, yeah, Ricky, if I was in your head, I'd be so exhausted. I agree. And I honestly, like, I'm never going to stop investing in myself, but I'm also going to remember that, like, the people that have more than you or they have the things that you want, it's not because they're smarter than you. It's because they move more. They make more moves. It's like someone looking at me being like, I want to have a 6-figure business and I want to have a podcast and I want to have a program or I want to walk away from weed or whatever it is that you look at me and you're like, I want that, right? Like, what's the difference between you and I? I've made moves. I stopped smoking. I moved to LA. I went on a road trip. I went into therapy. I wanted a podcast, so I hired a producer. I invested, I made moves. And the times that I don't make moves and I'm in my head, I don't move. I just stand there. And it's exhausting. And it sucks when you spend a lot of money on something and you're like, I don't understand. This is it. But then and the flip side, if you flip the script, it's kind of cool because you can be like, oh, this is it. This is it. Like, this girl can put this thing out here and this is it. This is all I get. And she can make a certain amount of money and have a certain amount of people purchase this thing. And it's not even that great. Like, imagine what you can do. Imagine what you can be. These are the questions I ask myself. I'm like, okay, if she can do that, like, and it was just eye opening for me. And I can't, I'm not going to tell you who she is either. Because then, I'm more mature than that. Okay. Am I? Yeah, it's interesting. Someone messaged me the other day, and this is so kind of off. No, it's kind of on topic. And I don't want, if the person might hear this and they might be offended, but don't be offended. But someone messaged me the other day and they were like, I want to join your program. I was like, okay, great. And they have been a long time listener or maybe listened to a few episodes. I don't really know. And they're like, yeah, send me the link, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, do you have any questions? Like, no, I don't have any questions. Okay, great. Awesome. Send the link. Program is $600. No big deal, whatever. And then it's like, I can't join the program. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, I have other options in terms of payment if that's the problem. Like, I try to work with people. And she was like, no, I thought the program was free. I'm like, what? Something about that just was like, how? How did you think that? Like, I never think anyone's programs are free. And I think it bothered me because it's just like, how? How does one think that? And like, and I just feel like maybe it kind of triggered me to be like, oh, like there's no, like, what's the value there for you? Like, how did you think something was free? I just assume everything costs money because it does. But also just like, if a person's helped so many people transform their life, you have to assume that the person's not doing it for free. And she's a nice lady and she meant no harm by it. But I just thought it was interesting and it made me think like, what am I doing wrong for someone to think that? And then you can't play that game because you're not always doing something wrong. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. Anyways, this is an episode of a bunch about different things. And honestly, it just feels good to be in a studio recording. So I figured why not just record the episode? So remember that people aren't here to save you. And I want you to never invest in anything of mine because you need to be saved. I want you to invest in things because you're worth investing in, because you know that there's more. I don't want to work with people that are at rock bottom because rock bottom is a hard place to be because you're looking at that person to drag you off the ground. I don't want to drag anyone off the ground. I want you to get off the ground yourself. And if I can give you the tools and the resources and the inspiration to do so, like, that's what I'm here for. I think it's really important to make moves. And some moves will be great and some won't. And you'll learn what you like and learn what you don't like. But not making a move just keeps you from moving. So just remember that some investments will be good and some won't be, but don't ever expect every investment to be the thing that changes your life. Like, you literally have to make changes. Information is just information. Knowledge is just knowledge unless you use it. It's not power until you use it. It's just knowledge. It just lives in your brain and sits there. So take action, invest in yourself. Don't expect that person to save you. Don't be someone that needs to be saved. Just be someone that wants to grow and evolve and heal, and be someone that makes a move and do something about it. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next Monday. I forgot to tell you to walk as you listen, but you already know that. So the episode's over. So, maybe listen to it again and go for a walk. All right. Love you. Goodbye.